Alright, so get this. Sister Bernadette Subirius left behind a prediction for 2025 that is seemingly starting to line up with today's world. It's crazy to think that so much of what the saints had declared in their prophecies used to sound like gibberish, but is so closely reflected in today's world.
In Lourdes, there is a famous statue of Bernadette. It has been moved several times, but beckons all to the message of the Virgin.
The story of Bernadette Subirius began when she was born on January 7, 1844, in the small town of Lourdes, France. Her humble background meant that she often struggled to fulfill her own basic needs. From a young age, she faced severe hardships, battling illness and extreme poverty. Regardless of all the ups and downs, she solidified her role as the eldest daughter and began working as a shepherd to support her family. It seemed her life was destined to mirror that of many others. Unremarkable, but fate had other plans. She underwent a canon event that changed the trajectory of her life. Bernadette was 14 years old and collecting firewood near a grotto called Massabielle when she encountered something extraordinary. A figure appeared to her, a beautiful lady draped in white emitting a blinding glow. Was it an angel? It's hard to tell, so Sister Bernadette dismissed it as an odd occurrence. Little did she know, this would mark the beginning of 18 incredible encounters with the apparition over the following months. The figure claimed to be the Immaculate Conception, which supposedly holds immense theological significance. Bernadette was as clueless as we are. How did she become the chosen one?
Bernadette reported a series of 18 visions of a radiant lady, eventually revealing herself as
the Immaculate Conception.
Now Bernadette took on the pious role of relaying these messages. But what these messages contained is what's really concerning. They urged people to return to God, to repent for their sins, and to trust in the transformative power of prayer to be granted God's mercy. But the real question is, mercy from what? As time passed, Bernadette began to prove herself as the beacon of hope. She dug wells flowing with magical healing water and won the hearts of every member of her community. Bernadette was a remarkable figure, a symbol of faith and a vessel for the Virgin Mary's words. Now, let's fast forward to the present. How do her visions from centuries ago impact us now? Are we looking at a reflection of her chilling visions in today's society? Bernadette foretold of a time when the world would face great trials. Some interpret her messages as warnings of social and environmental crises. Others think the Antichrist will be the one to begin the end of times. In an interview, Bernadette confirms that a lawless one will pave the way to our downfall. Do you think that person is already here or yet to come? The moral of her story is pretty straightforward. When a girl comes running to you and asks you to build a chapel, you do it without question. But if we're being real, it's about persevering in the face of hardships and never giving up regardless of backlash or skepticism faced by others. However, it is said that the story of Bernadette was a stepping stone for Fatima to allude to the real, earth-shattering prophecies that are going to make you question everything. So what was so important that the Blessed Mary had to contact not one, but two sacred women? Well, let's dive into these top-tier secrets. The first secret. This one was about a special kind of devotion to Mary's heart. It's a symbol of Catholic belief in peace and compassion, and it was meant to inspire people to live with those qualities. The second secret, this one gets dark. The kids were given a vision of hell. It was a warning to stay on the better path or face the ultimate wrath of God. The third secret. Now this one was the most cryptic and, as you know, was hidden for a long time. Only in the year 2000, a few decades later, did the Pope decide that, okay, it's time to reveal it to the world. The secret described a vision of a bishop in white getting attacked by soldiers, with bullets and arrows flying at him. Many people believe this vision foreshadowed the assassination attempt on John Paul II himself on May 13, 1981. A seriously eerie coincidence given the date. We have got visions of hell, flaming swords, and bishops getting attacked. The world is not worth living in if this is what's to come. People usually interpret the first secret as this huge red flag about the dangers that humanity creates for itself. Think of the devastation we bring on through things like war, or just straight-up cruelty. And this vision is no joke. It's a seriously vivid image of hell that's supposed to give us a taste of the consequences if we keep letting these destructive behaviors run wild. A lot of people look at the world wars as a pretty literal fulfillment of that first warning, which makes sense because those wars left a scar on the world that we're still kind of dealing with today. Then we get to the second secret, which is just as intense in its own way. This one talks about the conversion of Russia. Russia played a huge role in both world wars and the Cold War, spreading these revolutionary ideas that totally rocked governments and split people into opposing camps all over the world. The third secret, though, is where things get even stranger. This vision shows a bishop in white leading a group through a destroyed city, with corpses everywhere, only to be killed along with his followers. It's this image of widespread suffering that's led many to see it as a prophecy about more than just the Pope. It could be humanity itself facing destruction or judgment on a massive scale. A pope in Sydney was recently stabbed, ensuing a lot of riots in its wake. http://www.tiktok.com /ATRT World video 7429928217802 video 0.05. It's honestly kind of freaky how much we can link what's happening around us to the Fatima prophecies. I mean, if the Virgin Mary had to visit Bernadette and whisper these secrets to her, then come back and make Fatima reveal them, it must be over 1,000 years in the making. Just take a look around you. It's like a never-ending cycle of pain and suffering out here. The Russia-Ukraine conflict and the genocide in Palestine are just heartbreaking stuff. These issues are not just political, they're affecting real ordinary people who are helpless. But Bernadette always said, penance, penance, penance can give you the power to change anything. Then there's nature itself. Almost every country in the world is dealing with a catastrophe of its own, be it wildfires, floods, earthquakes, or hurricanes. A lot of people link these events to the Fatima prophecies, as if Mother Nature were punishing us for the dwindling humanity and kindness we have. In the third secret, Sister Lucia saw an angel bearing a sword of fire, which is believed to be nature's rage. Just take a moment to think over it. Fires spreading through forests, rivers drying up, hurricanes destroying all life, calamity after calamity, ready to destroy humans. Bernadette Soubirous' legacy lives on, echoing through time as a beacon of hope and guidance. Whether you believe the prophecies or not, it is worth wondering, could this all be real?